Good morning, everyone. I'm Sakshi Dhamiwal from AIMS Bhopal, and today I will be providing a brief overview of few cases of peripheral ulcerative keratitis with autoimmune pathology. So PUK is known to have frequent association with systemic disorders and thus serves as a diagnostic indicator for underlying inflammatory basis and thus necessitates specific treatment strategies. So we report 6 cases of PUK detailing their management strategies, visual outcomes, and the need for timely intervention. So my first case is a Hep B positive patient which presented with 5 clock hour epithelial defect and 80% stromal thinning. So he was managed with bandage contact lens with tissue adhesive application. Following 2 weeks of which further stromal loss is halted, leaving mild stromal haze due to post-op inflammation. Next, I have 2 cases of rheumatoid arthritis. First had a similar clinical presentation as my previous case, but he was recurrent post-BCL application. So in this case, limbal conjunctival resection with glue BCL application was done. Another case had an inferotemporal thinning which further complicated to paracentral corneal perforation. So this case was managed with multi-layered amniotic membrane grafting using inlay and onlay technique. Next, I have a patient of autoimmune hypothyroidism, which presented with corneal perforation and surrounding stromal melt. This case was managed with banana patch grafting using donor corneoscleral tissue. His tectonic integrity was preserved post 6 months. However, he developed glaucoma due to chronic steroid uses. Next, I have a patient who came with the necrotic foci in sclera and corneal melt with uveal prolapse. So he had respiratory infections also, respiratory breathing difficulties also. So this case was managed with IV cyclophosphamide, weekly intermittent pulse therapy and IVMP. Following 2 weeks of which there was epithelialization of defect, fading of stromal infiltrates and resolution of signs on chest X-ray was seen. So this case highlights the importance of medical intervention in cases of PUK. Currently, this patient is planned for patch grafting. My next case had a 3-quadrant corneal melt. So this has to be managed with penetrating keratoplasty and he was kept on long-term immunosuppression therapy. So these are the comparative visual and structural outcome of all my patients. So my take-home message should be that the major goal should be in the management of PUK, firstly, to reduce the morbidity and mortality associated with the underlying autoimmune condition. Secondly, to preserve the ocular integrity. And thirdly, should be the visual rehabilitation. And lastly, I would say that always assess for any signs of opportunistic infection as these patients are on long-term immunosuppression therapy. And with this, thank you, everyone.
I think very well presented. Dr. Asta would like to ask a few questions and others, please.
In the patient that you performed conjunctival resection, so can you tell me what is the ideal or a preferred time to perform a conjunctival resection in patients with PUK?
It should be performed as soon as possible. Like if the patient is not responding to any treatment, there is no infective pathology behind, there are no signs of infection. And we have to start the patient on, there are signs of correlation with the collagen vascular diseases. So we should give it as soon as possible.
So ideally you would want the inflammation to subside a little, because if you perform too quickly, then it might not work. So you should control with the maximum immunosuppression, topical or systemic, and then go in for a conjunctival resection, and preferably you should take 2 clock hours more from both superior and inferior and up to 4 to 5 millimeter behind to remove all the source of your collagenase and inflammatory mediators. Jaya ma'am?
Well said. That was very well said, Asta. I think the essential point she has covered it. After the systemic control, like once the rheumatologist or immunologist has taken care of, then only we should intervene.
The patch graft that you have taken is quite bigger than the size of your perforation. So that big patch graft is not necessary actually. Just you close the perforation and keep the patient on immune suppression. that will be enough, because it's going to cause lot of astigmatism, and to deal with the patch graft later is also difficult.
Thank you, ma'am.
No, so, for the sake of the residents, can we discuss what investigations we usually do when we have a case of PUK that comes to us?
The basic PUK workup, Hashika.
Dr. Sakshi.
We have to get all the blood investigation like CBC, ESR, CRP, and we have to rule out infective pathology also. So MON2 test for SLE, ANA, NCA, you have to rule out relapsing polychondritis. So we have to ask relevant information like if there is any symptom, he has any other symptoms other than ocular symptoms. So that chest X-ray we have to take. And matlab baseline WBC count we should check, because these patients we have to start on immunosuppression therapy. So there are chances of the immunosuppression and nephrotoxicity also. So
So your first patient was hepatitis B positive. So we also have to look for these
serology.
viral.
Yes, ma'am.
Hepatitis B, C.
Yes, ma'am.